Today on CityCast Boise. Coffee culture says a lot about a city, and Boise's scene is evolving. So we sipped our way through the newest coffee shops to find the best spots for getting work done, where to grab a fall-flavored pick-me-up, and where to soak up those coffee house vibes. It's Thursday, October 23rd. I'm Lindsay Van Allen, and this is what Boise's talking about. Joining me today is our CityCast Boise producer, Evelyn Avitia, and she's going to help us dive into some of the newest coffee shops in the area. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Lindsay. I'm so happy to be here.
So to get things started, before we dive into each of the new coffee shops, I wanted to maybe set the platform, set, the baseline a little bit. What do you look for in a coffee shop? Can you kind of give us a little background on what you brought into this endeavor?
I feel like a lot of us, I'm scrolling on Instagram and local creators are like, new coffee shop just dropped, new coffee shop. And I'm like, oh my goodness, there are so many coffee shops popping up and they all look so different from each other. And so I was really curious. I wanted to go check out these different spots and figure out what makes them different and if they are really worth trying. I'm not going to deny that I am a picky girl. I'm pretty picky when it comes to my coffee. I like my coffee to be strong. I want it to have a good flavor, but I also love a creative menu. I love when coffee shops are able to play with house-made syrups, first of all. That is one thing I'm always looking for. And they're able to just create this unique menu with different flavor combinations and kind of just thinking outside of the box. So if a coffee shop has a cool menu, has house-made syrups, has good pastries, I'm all here for it.
And I'm also curious, with all of the different spots that you visited, are you seeing that coffee shops are opening up across the Treasure Valley? They're sprinkled throughout? Or did it feel like a lot of these shops are in kind of clustered in certain locations? Does it seem like there's spots where a lot of coffee shops are opening up all in a similar area?
From my perspective, being from Caldwell, traveling into Boise to try these different spots, it took me to different neighborhoods. And so I got to know these different areas of Boise. It felt like they were pretty spaced out.
Okay, well, let's jump into it. I see you've got a list of coffee shops here. What is the first spot that you want to talk about, and tell us what you thought about it?
Okay, I have 5 spots that we're going to dive into, and this is my number 5. So Roast and Vine, they opened in downtown Boise. They're on West Main Street. They opened in January 2025, so they're almost going to hit a year. And this was the most expensive latte that I've had. I paid $9 for it. And this is also the only place I got a hot drink from.
Okay, because you're typically not a hot coffee girly.
No, yeah. I'm always getting iced coffee. But it was a chilly day, so I was like, okay, let me go ahead and get a hot coffee. Why not? All of my other coffees were cold. Let's do one hot one. And Roast and Vine has a good seating layout. I sat by their window bar. There was a bunch of bar stools, and the bar is just looking out into the street they're on, people watching. It was really nice, but it really does feel like an expensive hotel lobby coffee shop.
Can you tell me more about this $9 drink? Because I know we're living in unprecedented times, but I'm not sure if mentally I'm prepared to pay $9 for coffee unless it's like a jug of coffee.
Yeah, I got a 16-ounce hot Aztec mocha, and this is a part of their fall menu. It was espresso, cayenne, and Mexican mocha flavoring. So essentially a Mexican mocha. And I definitely have had better Mexican mochas in some of my go-to rotation spots. So I don't think I would order that again. But there was a girl next to me who had a cold brew with pumpkin cold foam topped with pumpkin spice. It looked really, really good. So maybe I just ordered the wrong thing.
Okay. And thinking about the space, was it a spot where you'd stay, you'd park it, you'd do some work? Who would you bring to this coffee shop and why?
Yeah, this is definitely one of the spaces where I felt really comfortable working from home, getting some work done. There weren't a lot of distractions. And if I were to categorize this spot, I think I would say that this is where I would take someone if I had a business meeting and I wanted to impress them.
Okay. I was going to say, yeah, like get them that $9 drink and cover it and then have your meeting. No, I think that sounds fair.
Yeah.
Were there any other drinks there that really stood out to you or anything about the space or the coffee shop that you thought was really interesting?
Yeah, this spot was just very modern, very eclectic in a way. It was kind of random. It felt expensive, it felt modern, right in downtown. So parking, good luck. Kind of. Maybe. I don't know. I had an easy time parking, fortunately.
You're getting that real downtown Boise vibe.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what is the next spot on your list?
Okay. Number 4, Hidden Grounds Coffee. This is on Hill Road, near the Collister neighborhood. This spot also opened in January. And so parking here, not great.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to find parking. It's very limited. And it is really this like essential, solid neighborhood coffee shop. So I think if you live in the area, you're biking there, you're walking there. I was able to find a parking, headed up there. And it's a smaller space. It's cute. You walk in, there's a few chairs. They have an upstairs area that's more cozy. There were a few people maybe it was giving Bible study upstairs. So I ran back downstairs and sat at a table. But I get there, I order my drink. I got a salted honey vanilla latte, and it was really good. And I say, oh, so do you guys have a Wi-Fi password or do I just connect? And she's like, oh, we don't have Wi-Fi here. I was like, oh, okay.
Okay, so we're maybe not the spot if you're planning on working.
Yeah, so immediately I understood this is not a come and get your stuff done. This is not a work from home spot. This is a very much like I'm in the neighborhood, I'm grabbing my coffee, I'm bringing my family or my friends, and we're catching up in this area. Definitely not a working spot.
Okay, no, that's good. I was going to say everybody loves a good, coffee hangout spot. It's just good to know,
Yeah.
like, okay, if you're planning on doing your work, that's not the spot to go.
Yeah, and this was the furthest coffee shop from me. This was a far drive into this area. But I think this is the spot I'd go if I lived there and I was in the neighborhood and I was on the go and I wanted a coffee. A lot of people were going in and out.
Okay, and how did their fall menu look?
Oh, they actually had a gorgeous fall menu. Some of their items, they have their pumpkin spice latte, a whipped maple latte, a vanilla cardamom latte.
I'd love to see
and
the
an
cardamom.
apple chai latte. Yeah, it's taking over. I'm seeing it everywhere.
Cardamom is having its renaissance, and I'm here for it. I love it. I will champion it every day. So every spot that has cardamom, you've won me over.
Yeah, and the presentation of my drink was lovely. They put like a tiny little dot of whipped cream and then some sort of like salted sprinkles on there. It was great.
This fall, treat yourself to a trip to wine country in the heart of the Pacific Northwest. The Walla Walla Valley is home to more than 130 wineries, offering vineyard experiences and delicious wine tastings. Bonus, grape harvest is happening soon. Besides incredible wines, Walla Walla has a walkable, historic downtown core to explore. There's plenty of farm-fresh dining options from celebrated chefs to treat yourself to. Go at your own pace around town, do as much or as little as you want. And here's a thought, September is a beautiful time to take a scenic road trip to Walla Walla, just 4 hours away from Boise. Go to wallawalla.org to plan your visit today. That's wallawalla.org. Okay, we've made it almost halfway through the list, and I'm curious, what is your next spot that you tried out, and how was it?
Okay, so this one is not new, but it has become new to my rotation, and they've really been killing it on social media, really building that branding and marketing. So number 3 is Jitters by Jane. They are on North 9th Street in downtown Boise. This is another downtown coffee shop. They actually opened in May 2023. It's woman owned, and I'm pretty sure she's from Boise, so locally
Oh, we
owned.
love that.
I think she's Gen Z. I think she taps into that Gen Z energy, and I'm here for it. I love it.
I think that's great. Okay. So if somebody's planning on checking it out, is this a spot where you'd work? Is this a spot where you're in and out? Is this a spot where you'd go to just hang with friends? What's kind of the vibe?
It's a pretty small but cozy space. So I don't think that I would work remotely here. This is definitely a spot that if you want some IG pictures and you want to tap into creating content, I would go here. My favorite thing about Jitters by Jane is that their whole menu, all of their drinks are named after Boise landmarks or like Boise, like essential institutions and stuff like that. Which is so cute. Like you have your Bogus Basin and your like Hyde Park, stuff like that.
Oh, I love a theme. I
Yeah,
think that's really fun, especially kind of a locally based one. Okay. Okay.
exactly. Okay. And so then for their fall menu, I ordered the Farmstead. The Farmstead is caramel apple butter pecan latte. And some of their others were the Flicks, which was pumpkin and marshmallow chai, your lovely Hollow Farm, shout out to Caldwell, apple brown sugar cinnamon shaken espresso, and your Haunted World blueberry brown sugar cinnamon latte.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard of a drink that's the blueberry with the brown sugar and cinnamon, but I'm kind of intrigued.
Yeah, and when I say that I want a place to stand out with their menus and play with different flavors, like Jitter by Jane does that.
I would say that's very fun. I am. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go
Yes.
blueberry. I was interested. Now I'm intrigued. Yeah, it definitely caught my eye, and I do love that she's naming it local places. I don't know. It feels.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just like a romantic local, but I'm like, oh, sentimental. Like I do like that.
Yeah.
All right, Evelyn, we are getting to the top of your list. And so,
Mhm.
what is the next coffee shop that you checked out and what stood out about it to you?
Okay, we are making our way. We're at number 2. So, number 2, I'm giving to Salt and Light Coffee Lounge. They just opened in Eagle, Idaho on North Fisher Parkway. They opened in August of 2025. Making my way to Eagle was not my favorite. I'm just going to start by saying that. Remember, I live in Caldwell, so I made my way to Eagle just to try this coffee shop.
It's not a fun drive.
Yeah.
It's
No.
a trek for sure.
But I don't regret it. I really don't. And maybe I would make the drive over there again
For this coffee shop?
for this coffee
Okay.
shop.
Okay, that's quite an
Yeah.
endorsement.
First thing, I liked that there was a big parking lot. It was busy, but it was big. It was easy to access and find my parking. There's a large patio, and there was a lot of people sitting outside, chatting, drinking coffee. Now that it's getting more chilly, I'm not sure what that's going to look like, but the inside was just very cozy and modern. And one thing that threw me off, no shade, this is just not me. There was a lot of families. There was a bunch of families and a lot of kids.
Okay, so I'm curious. I've seen with some coffee shops, not all of them, but some of them, they have like children's play areas or activity centers for kids. Was this a spot set up like that, or did it just happen to have lots of families?
I think it just happened to have a lot of families from the area grabbing coffee, hanging out with their family, catching up. I definitely feel like this is one of those places that could set an area up like that for children.
Okay. Is it a spot you could get work done, or is this maybe more of go chat with your friends? There's going to be kids, and so it might be difficult to get work done, or do you think that it would be a good spot for that?
I actually think it's the perfect balance, to be honest. I was there, I was getting my work done, and it wasn't too distracting. I did find myself doing a lot of people watching, but then I'd get back to work. So I think it's a good mix. It's a good space. I love the setup of it. I think it's big enough to be able to, split those audiences of, okay, I'm focused, I'm getting my work done, and then your other folks who are just swinging by, grabbing coffee with their family.
And what drink did you get, and what did you think about it?
I went very basic over here and I got a iced pumpkin spice latte with an extra shot. That's essential. This was the best pumpkin spice latte I've had. I swear. They have a house-made syrup. I don't know what's in it, but I could not stop just thinking about how good this pumpkin spice latte was.
Wow, that
Yeah.
is a resounding recommendation in the heart of pumpkin spice season.
I feel like I've tried a bunch of different pumpkin spice lattes, and that's just not a drink that I will typically order. I think I'm always like, meh, it's okay, because the syrup just doesn't have the flavor that I'm looking for. But this one was the perfect balance of like, it doesn't feel like I'm drinking some artificial pumpkin syrup in my coffee. It felt like very organic, very good. But they had some other cool items like their sweater weather cold brew, which had maple, cinnamon, and other fall spices, and a hint of sea salt. Peach cobbler matcha, which is matcha and peach, and your banana bliss latte, which is a banana bread syrup.
Evelyn, something I'm really curious about, since you, in a short amount of time, visited all of these spots, I feel like I'm starting to see a trend of coffee shops in the area that are religiously based or seem to have religious themes to them. And Salt and Light was one of them, where I saw their grand opening and like the interview with the owner talked a lot about religion. They had like a scripture in their bio, a scripture on their website. I'm really curious, when you were there, did it feel like a coffee shop that is religious, or does that come through? Is that more something that's online or on their website? And when you're there, it's just a coffee shop like any other coffee shop? I've just been really curious, as I feel like I'm seeing this trend, how that feels when you're there.
I feel like I have noticed this trend also, but when I was in Salt and Light, I didn't pick up on that energy. And then I was scrolling online, diving into their social media posts, and I was actually really surprised to see that they were so heavily influenced by the Christian religion.
Yeah. And I was going to say, I'm not taking a stance one way or the other. It's just a
Hmm.
trend I've noticed. And I was
Yeah.
curious how much that came through, because we've had, when we did the chicken episode, over a year ago, there were a couple chicken restaurants that are religiously based, and that came through heavily. Like when you walked through the door, you're
Hmm.
like, oh, this is a Christian chicken shop. And so I was really curious if that came through, or if you're like, oh, if I wasn't scrolling their
No.
Instagram, I'd have no idea.
Yeah. I was in Nampa last year. They had opened a new coffee shop, and the religious vibes there were strong. I was trying to work from home there, and immediately I felt just uncomfortable. I just was like, this is not my space. I gotta go. And I did not feel that way at all at Salt and Light.
Okay, we have made it to the top of your list, and I'm so excited about this coffee shop with all of these new coffee shops opening. What made this spot your number one? What made it stand out?
Okay, are you guys ready? Number one goes to Coffee with a Twist. They are on South Apple Street in Southeast Boise, and they opened late July, early August. And I'm obsessed with this spot. Like, I cannot wait to go back. I'm ready. I love this spot.
You and I were chatting actually when you were in that
Mhm.
spot, and we were over a Zoom call, and it was very pretty. Like I was surprised.
Yeah.
It was a very pretty space. I think I even commented on
Mhm.
it. I was like, where are you? I'm enjoying looking at it.
Yeah. So my best friend was actually in town visiting, and I am so happy we went to this coffee shop because this spot is for the girlies. You walk in, and there are so many different tables and like cozy lounge couches, and everything is pink and green. It was beautiful. As soon as we walked in, our jaws just dropped and we're like, it's so gorgeous. Like the aesthetic is everything.
Okay. And you mentioned it's lovely and the aesthetic is gorgeous. And you mentioned the loungers. Is this a spot you could go get work done, or is this you're going with your girlies and you're having the pink and green coffee time of your life?
Yeah, we did both, to be honest. Me and my friend were just like let's get some pictures, let's get some videos, let's talk, let's hang out. And then we were also at a large table and we're like, okay, time to lock in, goodbye. And we're just getting our work done. So I think it is a space that works really well if you need to get some work done. There were a few other people working remotely. And then on the other side, there were a few people catching up and just enjoying their coffee. There's this area in the corner. They are these like fluffy pink couches, like bean bags almost. And it looked like a mom and a daughter just sitting there as if they were in their own living room, enjoying their coffee, just so deep into their conversation, so comfortable. Yeah, I think it's a space that really works for everything.
And what did you order there? And how was it?
Ooh, they had such a solid fall menu. I ordered a salted vanilla maple latte, which has vanilla bean syrup, real maple syrup, and sea salt. I'm a sucker for vanilla bean syrup. Anything vanilla bean, I'm like, I love it. Yes. And my friend, she got the banana bread matcha. But they also had, your pumpkin spice latte, a banana bread latte, a hot chamomile apple tea with chai, a dirty chai, some apple cider. And of course, this place is coffee with a twist. They're known for also creating these delicious little twist pastries. And you had asked me, you're like, is this good?
Yeah.
And I was like, you're going to have to wait.
You made me wait because that's actually, I love a pastry. I'm a sucker for a pastry and a pun. And so, yeah, I saw you there and I was like, tell me about it. You made me wait. I've waited. I've been so patient. How was it?
So I had the cinnamon twist. It tastes like a cinnamon roll, but with croissant dough. And it was so good. It was so good. I just think this spot is number one. This is the number one spot you need to go try.
Is there one thing that makes it the number one? Or do you just feel like the overall vibe is just so elite, so fantastic, so perfect that it just had to be the number one?
Yeah, I think comparing it to all the other different spots that I tried, this one just checked off all of my boxes. They had a creative menu. The aesthetic was beautiful, good layout. I felt comfortable working from there, but I also felt really comfortable bringing my best friend and just having, girl time there. So I just think that this checks all my boxes.
Well, Evelyn, I want to thank you so much for doing this really hard lifting, this really intense labor to check out all of these new coffee shops and get us these fantastic recommendations. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
That's all for today here on CityCast Boise. The show might be ending this week, but you can still find my content and what's next for me at The Social Lindsay on Instagram and Socialistly Awkward on TikTok. We'll be back tomorrow morning with our final episode, reflecting on everything we've learned about Boise while doing this podcast. You won't want to miss it.